Hey, in this video, I want to show you how to use the Themify page builder. So Themify has its own page builder and enables you to create some really elaborate pages. Rather than just dealing with just the WYSIWYG editor here, you can really structure a page and make it really nice and elaborate. So I've dealt with other page builders like Visual Composer, which is an okay page builder. I actually had a lot of problems with it, and so I kind of have a little bit of bad feelings for Visual Composer, but I really like Themify's page builder. The great thing about Themify is that they stay on top of the new WordPress updates and stuff like that, and so they're always coming up with updates to Themify and stuff like that. So it's great to be part of or actually be using a system that is constantly staying up with the times. So that's one of the great things that I really like about it. So let's go ahead and we're going to dig right into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to ignore this part right here. This is the normal area where you'd go in here, and you could use this. You can still use it along with the page builder. It still uses this area, but the only reason you'd want to use this is if you're doing something really basic. You just want to put in a quick message or something like that, then that's where you do that. So we're going to go down here, and this is the page builder area right here. So you can see it says Themify Custom Panel. So there's four tabs here, and each one of these gives you a lot of great customization, including to where you can go in and you can change the highlight or the accent colors on the page, different things like that. You can even create a page, or you can even change the header of the page, or you can even create a page with no header at all. Now, this is a great feature because I have actually, on other themes, had to go into WordPress's, you go into a WordPress appearance, and then you go into editor, and you find a template and you actually have to recreate one. You create a new one, then you remove the header, and it's a big mess to go in and do that. And you have to actually know a little bit of HTML and some coding to be able to manage that. And so if you just want a page that's blank, and I've done that for numerous clients that just wanted a blank page for a certain reason, and it's more complicated than it is at Themify. So Themify, you can just go in here and you can switch the header to something totally different. You can even do a side one. You got a side one here and a side one here and a side one here, but you could even just do no header at all. So that's pretty cool. But we're not going to worry too much about that. We're not going to worry too much about this right here. We're just going to go right into Themify Builder. So the Themify Builder, basically it works on rows and columns. So first of all, it starts us off with this row right here. So inside here is actually the builder, and you can see as I hovered over this, I had something open up over here, and I'm just gonna click right here to have that go away. Oops, I hovered over it again. So let's worry about just kind of going through some of the basics here. But what you do is you'd want to split up this row into columns, and you can do so by easily choosing one of these. You can see, let's go ahead and just split it up into two parts, two even parts right here. And you can see as I hover inside of each one of these, I have style options, so I can actually stylize this particular column. I can actually choose an image to have it be the background. I can do all kinds of different things, or I could just do a background color. So this half of this section can actually be a certain color. I can even go in and I can adjust the padding and the margin. So the padding is inside the box. The margin is anything on the outside of the box. I can put a border on the box. I can change the font inside the box. So there's a lot of stylizing options right there for you. So don't get too concerned that there's a lot of information here. Just use the information that's going to be relevant to you. But understand that there are other things that you can do if you need to. So let's go ahead and add an object to this box. So this is how it works. So you basically, you can hover over this, which I've got this off the screen, so we're not going to use this. And so we're going to use this one right here. It's the same thing as that. So we're going to click on this. That gives us all these options right here. You can see there's a bunch of different things we can add. And mostly what you're probably going to be using is the one called text, and that one is right here. Now plain text is different. You want the text one. So we're just going to go ahead and I just clicked on it and I drug it right up here. And now I can add in the content. I can just add in whatever I want. I can make it bold. I can make it italic. So I have the WYSIWYG editor right here. But I also have this styling right here where I can come in and I can say, well, I want the font to be this color. I want it to be centered and stuff like that, which is a great feature because say I had a dark background and I wanted this to be white. I could actually go in here and I could go in and I can make it white. So this is the text area where you can actually change the code. There's also some plugins where you can get some additional WYSIWYG buttons here where you could change the color, and you could do that. You could actually just say you could go in, using a WYSIWYG editor, one of the buttons, you could say make this a white text. The problem is that when you come into this, you won't be able to see it. So you come in to edit it, and there's nothing there, and you have to kind of go through and find it. This, however, you can go over here and you can say, well, I want everything in this box to be white, or at least all the text. And then when I come back here, everything is still black, but when it shows on the page, it'll actually be white. So that's one of the great things about this. Now, let's say we want to add an image to it as well. And of course, I didn't leave very much very good content there, but say we wanted to add an image over here. And normally you would have to do kind of some fiddling around to do that. So once again, I just click on that object, drag it up here, and I can choose if I want the image to be, if I want the image centered, which is the most common one that I use, is I just choose this and then I just browse for the image. I put it in here. You can do rounded edges on the image. You can do a drop shadow. You can do a border. You can even make it a circle image. You can set the image width, the image height. You can also have a title on the image. So the title would appear like, I don't know if you can see this on the video, but there's the big box right here, which is the image, and then you have a few lines. You have a darker line, that would be the title, and then you have some more lines underneath that. You don't need to enter anything in here. If you just want an image there, that's great, just leave it the way it is. But if you want to have a title, you want to have a caption and all that, you can do that there as well. And so this is this is basically HTML is welcome in this area right here. So if you wanted something to be bold, you'd kind of have to know a little bit of HTML to do that. And if you do, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. You can just basically choose your image, save it, and then you can do the same thing. If you wanted to use a WYSIWYG editor, you just come down here, drag the text right underneath it, and then you can make this bold, and you can go from there, and you don't have to know HTML. So that's basically it that I wanted to show you. I mean, there's all kinds of things to explore with all these features here that the editor has. And so feel free to just explore them, see what each one does, fiddle with its features. One other quick little thing that I wanted to show you, let's go ahead and I'm going to go back into this. And you can see I can duplicate this, I can export it, I can import it, I can copy, I can paste, I can change its visibility. But let's do one thing here. Also, I can change the visibility here. Say I didn't want this image to be shown on mobile or tablets, I could mark these as hidden. But it also has animation to where we can animate something. And so it has all these different animation options. Some of them are kind of quirky and just a little bit too much. And you really, on most websites, you want something more subtle. A slight little fade in or something like that looks really cool. But a real big bounce in is more for a fun, kids page or something like that. So I wouldn't encourage you too much to do too much here. But of course, there are those options. You can delay it. You can have it repeat. And there's also a really cool feature where if I wanted to set a background for this whole box right here, I could go in here and then I could choose background, and then I'd put a background image in here, and then look, I can actually go in and I can choose parallax scrolling. So parallax scrolling is where you scroll and the image stays fixed on the page and everything kind of just scrolls past it and has a really cool effect. It's pretty hot right now to have parallax scrolling on your website. So that's a cool feature. And then you can even choose the individual objects and have them scroll differently that are inside that parallax box. So if you go in here, you can go to edit again and you can go to animation and you can choose the parallax speed and that type of thing. So it's really cool. And then you can choose how the z-index is how it's stacked. So one object can be in front of another and that type of thing, and they can both scroll differently. So if you had a bunch of objects in that box that has parallax, you can kind of change how they scroll. Anyway, that's basically all I wanted to show you in this video. Be sure and like and share this video, and if you have any questions, add them to the comments. Thanks, and have a great day.